Hi, this is Kyle, and this is my fourth live annotated bibliography for EDUC 5199G. We're discussing the proceedings of a conference with the presentation titled Badges of Friendship, Social Influence and Badge Acquisition on Stack Overflow, which I read as a paper published by IEEE. It doesn't really have much to do with friendship, but we'll get to that. This study was done to look at how people influence their network based on their badges and tags acquired through this site called Stack Overflow. And Stack Overflow is kind of like social media, but it does have no friends list. People just say they are experts and they try to solve each other's problems. Stack Overflow is mostly based around programming problems, but it has branched out a little. So this is an example of a profile, and you'll see there's no such thing as a friends list. You can acquire badges through your actions at Stack Overflow. Some examples of badges are down here, including Enlightened and Good Answer and Critic. And so those are some of the badges available. There's a small number of badges, 75 at the time of the study. There are over 10,000 tags, and they're very specific to areas of expertise. So this is for Chris Burrows, and he has, for example, a top tag of C#, where he's got a score of 95, and that's one of his tags. This study was done to find a correlation between this thing called PNE and badges/tags. PNE comes from the absence of a friends list, and it's called pseudo-network exposure. And it's done by parsing all of the publicly available data from Stack Overflow and relating everyone you've ever posted with. So it's the number of people you've ever co-posted with or influenced. And so it's a way of determining your social network influence without a friends list. So this is showing the relationship between how many badges you have and how many people you've been able to influence. They also broke down towards the end of the paper specific badges and tags that have a PNE relationship. And you'll see here, for example, that C and C# and iPhone are a little higher rated than some of the other ones like MySQL in terms of the PNE earner column. So there were some moderators of network influence that I came up with. It wasn't really discussed in the article at all. But my ideas were that you would be more influential on your network, your professional network, based on your level of education, based on your language skill, as you can't really communicate improvements to someone's work if you don't have the English language writing skill to do that on a site like Stack Overflow. Your years of experience, your employment status, and that could be kind of both ways because someone who is unemployed has a lot more time to access a site like Stack Overflow. And it could be other social factors like gender, where you would only really be able to determine that based on someone's username or something, but it's possible that that could influence someone's influentialness on a site like Stack Overflow. None of this would be identifiable or verifiable within Stack Overflow user data. Some badges are earned for things like making a profile, and you earn a badge when you do that, and so they don't really relate to one's influence or knowledge at all. But otherwise, very little here is subjective. Now, Stack Overflow isn't meant to be about socialization, but there are people who are more influential than others. And so the paper itself writes, well, it's not an ideal way to measure an authentic sense of friendship or strong ties. It provides some approximation of shared conversational and attention space. And that's referring to that PNE metric that they came up with, which I thought was useful. So in terms of this article's usefulness to me, the tie-in to mental well-being is a little bit weak, but I know that discussing someone's social influence does matter. I looked at a Stack Overflow-like tool for discussing mental health problems, and PNE is an interesting social construct for looking at one's influence in a tool like that. Badges and tags themselves relate to gamification and other instructional practices, and this also happens that the outcome of this makes a case for some influential programming topics, and I'll be able to share that with my students. So I did find this interesting and useful. Thank you.